Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go getimism number 766 for November 7th, 2016. All right, so tonight I'm going to talk to y'all about the things that we do when nobody else is around, or more specifically, the things that we will not do if anybody else is around, if we can help it. It's not that you're being secretive or anything else like that. It's just that there's some things that we are not so proud about doing, but we still do them. Like pick your nose. You know, some people are free with it. They'll pick their nose. They don't care. But then there's some people who say they ain't picking their nose in front of nobody. I tell you one thing. A lot of women out here will not allow a dude that they're not 100% comfortable with. They won't fart around them or take a shit in their house. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be real detrimental to your health. Now taking a shit is a very private thing. So there may be a lot of people that you might be uncomfortable with, you know, taking a shit around. Like there's some people who won't use a public bathroom, even if it's at work. Now, there are other people who go to work and they have their favorite stall at work, and they'll put in work in their favorite stall. As a matter of fact, some of them won't do their business anywhere else in any other stalls in the whole building except for their favorite one. But, like I said, you know, taking a shit is a very private thing, and there's some people won't take a shit around, and sometimes for some women that might be over their man's house or something like that, so they'll hold it in, you know what I mean, damn near making themselves sick holding it. So like, let's say you went to dinner the night before and you know that what goes in eventually has to come out anyway, that might be one of the things that you won't do around. Well, you won't do if certain people are around, if specific people are around. We're not always comfortable showing our human side, and that's all right. You know what I'm saying? There's a time and a place for all of that. And the thing about the things that we won't do if anybody else is around is that all of those things have to be broken down over time, because somebody knows the things that you do. So I don't care whether it's something like adjusting yourself, because y'all know how men are. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, we might be uncomfortable. We adjust ourselves. Some men don't care about that. They'll do it in public. Some of them might even open up their pants and take a look. What's wrong? You know, what's wrong? It seems pretty rude or whatever, but some will do it in front of people, and some people will not deal with anything physical going on with themselves if specific people are around. So they're going to make sure they don't do it when people are around. If you've ever had a wedgie out in public and you really try to do everything except for pull your drawers about your ass, and it don't be working. So there might be a time when you have to pull your drawers about your ass. But you might not do that if people are around. Specific people. Now, for a man and a wife, or a boyfriend and girlfriend that are really close, maybe living together or something like that, or really just close like that, they may do a whole lot of things around each other that they will not do around anybody else. But when you live with somebody, or when you are staying with somebody on a really constant basis, you're going to let your guard down at some point, even if you don't mean to. For example, people who suck their thumb. You may be a thumb sucker all your life, but you might make sure that you don't never do it out in public. Because, quite frankly, you may feel like sucking your thumb is something that a grown person shouldn't be doing, but you still do it. So you'll make sure that you don't do it in front of anybody except for people who live under your own roof. So as soon as you get home, as soon as you get comfortable, it's bloop. You know? And if you've ever caught anybody sucking their thumb on the low, when you didn't know that they sucked their thumb. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what? But some people will try to hide that. They won't do it if anybody else is around. And that's their choice. So what we got? Picking your nose, adjusting your balls, whatever. Pulling the wedgie out of your ass, sucking your thumb, crying. Some people will not cry around other people. They'll hold it in. They'll play the strong role, you know. They'll play the supportive role when everybody else is crying, and they might be so sad inside, but they're not going to let anybody see them cry. So because it may be that they grew up believing that crying is a form of weakness. So they try to make sure that they don't do that around other people. I think that you should let your emotions out as you feel them, as long as they're not detrimental to your situation. But crying is definitely not a sign of weakness. It can be a sign of strength, actually, in the right situation. But you shouldn't withhold your feelings that are really overwhelming you just because you think somebody is going to ridicule you over that. And anybody who ridicules somebody over tears, like, what kind of shit is that? I can see if you was like a crybaby, but other than that, that ain't no way to be. That ain't cool. So there are a whole lot of one thing. There are a lot of people out here that are incontinent, which means that you pee on yourself. You know, you have leakage. There are a lot of people out here who wear Depends, man, like adult diapers. And to be honest with you, that's really nothing to be ashamed of, but I can understand how somebody would be ashamed of it. But that is something that you would try to keep, that most people would try to keep hidden. Because there is an underlying health issue that's associated with that most of the time. And you might already be uncomfortable with the fact that you're not 100% healthy like you used to be. And now you have to deal with that. And now, you know, it's a situation where you are basically peeing on yourself in public. So, you know, it's embarrassing. So you're going to try your best to try to hide that if anybody else is looking. You know, signs of any type of illness or medical condition where it becomes visible, you might still try to hide it when specific people are around or when anybody else is around, because you might not want people to be looking at you like, oh man, you messed up, you know, basically give you a pity party that you didn't even try to invite anybody to. So, you know, it's a tough situation, but these are the things that we go through in our lives, and they're really nothing to be ashamed of. It's just certain stuff that we have to go through, and boom, it is what it is. But there are going to be people in your life that you're going to have to share even the most embarrassing things about yourself, and you're not going to be able to hide it, but for so long. You're not going to be able to hide it from them. That's just how it goes. You know what? I'm going to just leave it right there. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go. You know what? Here's the thing. I was about to start saying things that were going to apply to certain people, so I had to stop talking. Because if I would have kept going, I would have started snitching. And one thing I don't ever want to do on any of these videos is start talking about anybody specifically. That's what I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very conscious about things that people would rather keep private. And there's some things that I understand about what people do that even though it doesn't apply to me, it doesn't mean that it's not necessary. And just because I don't think that it's necessary for life, it may be necessary for your life. So I just want everybody to know that whenever I do these videos, I'm not trying to put nobody on blast, and I'm not going to do that. So if anybody thinks I'm sneak dissing them or trying to, you know what I mean, or trying to go around, talking about somebody, and that also goes for any of my posts or anything like that. I'm not about that life. And anybody who knows me knows I ain't about that life. I just talk about human experience. But I don't want to talk about your experience because there's a place and a time for that. And it ain't in any of these videos or any of my posts. And I just want to make that clear. You know what I'm saying? We ain't getting down like that. Alright? Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, listen, we all have things about us that we would rather keep on the low. There's certain things that we are uncomfortable about showing the rest of the world. So we try to do them when nobody else is looking. But I just want you to know that it's all right for you to pick your nose or pee on yourself or dig in your butt or adjust your balls or cry or things. My brain not really working that well tonight, y'all. But it is what it is. So, don't be ashamed of yourself. Just know that you're not alone. There's somebody else who does what you do. And here's something that people do that they might only do when people are around. Rock back and forth, listening to music. There are a lot of people who do that. Rock back and forth, listening to music. But they might only do it when they're by themselves because they know that shit looks weird. I'll holler at y'all later. Listen to the Daily Go Get 'Emism show every single day from 6 a.m. at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call in number 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. Holla at the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. blogtalkradio.com/Sun752. And I holler back at y'all. Peace. My brain, y'all.